It is now almost 2 months since the people of this country began to put up with restrictions on their freedom, your freedom, of a kind that we have never seen before in peace or war.
The Prime Minister believes the worst moment of this pandemic might, just might, be behind us. And a Cobra meeting hosted by Downing Street today put the seal on moving to a new phase in the government's response.
We must stay alert. We must continue to control the virus and save lives. And yet we must also recognise that this campaign against the virus has come at colossal cost to our way of life. We can see it all around us in the shuttered shops and abandoned businesses and darkened pubs and restaurants.
So tonight, the Prime Minister set out in broad terms his roadmap to easing the restrictions in England. He said the lockdown would remain, but some changes would be made from this week.
We now need to stress that anyone who can't work from home, for instance, those in construction or manufacturing, should be actively encouraged to go to work, and we want it to be safe for you to get to work. So you should avoid public transport if at all possible, because we must and will maintain social distancing, and capacity will therefore be limited.
He also eased the restrictions on how often people can go out and what for.
From this Wednesday, we want to encourage people to take more and even unlimited amounts of outdoor exercise. You can sit in the sun in your local park, you can drive to other destinations, you can even play sports, only with members of your own household. You must obey the rules on social distancing, and to enforce those rules, we will increase the fines for the small minority who break them.
Should the virus be kept under control, his roadmap then leads in early June to the phased reopening of primary schools and shops, and in July to a start to the reopening of the hospitality industry and public places. But it all depends on controlling the rate of reproduction of the virus.
All of this is conditional. It all depends on a series of big ifs. It depends on all of us, the entire country, to follow the advice, to observe social distancing, and to keep that R down.
He also confirmed the news that the airline industry had feared.
To prevent reinfection from abroad, I'm serving notice that it will soon be the time, with transmission significantly lower, to impose quarantine on people coming into this country by air.
But the political consensus which largely accompanied the introduction of the lockdown is no longer holding.
I completely understand why parts of the plan have to be conditional. I completely accept that. I also accept that there will be more detail that will come out. But some of the clarity isn't there. So, for example, tomorrow morning, millions of people are being told effectively to go back to work. But at the same time, they're being told not to use public transport. Well, back to work in 12 hours' time without that clarity is a very big ask of millions of people.
And Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are all now taking slightly different approaches.
I have asked the UK Government not to deploy their Stay Alert advertising campaign in Scotland, because the message in Scotland at this stage is not stay at home if you can. The message is, except for the essential reasons you know about, stay at home, full stop.
Our advice has not changed in Wales. Wherever you can, you should stay at home. If you need to leave home for work, exercise or shopping, you should stay local and stay alert. Coronavirus has not gone away.
Tomorrow, the Prime Minister will present Parliament with a more detailed version of his roadmap, including the new COVID alert system which will underpin it. But the outline approach he delivered tonight has left many questions yet to be answered.